Yeah.
Fucking love that intro.
So
The
great.
most Michael Bay shit ever.
Yeah.
But it's poetry aside.
So even when we get like we big, we're gonna keep it.
Hey man, for sure. You can always count on us to give you our honest fucking nothing but honesty here. That's how we do. Okay, so I wrote this and I'm actually going to share. I'm going to pull it up and then I'm going to share the screen so you guys can actually see how I wrote it. Oh, excuse me. Well, on the plus side, with every expulsion of gas, my stomach feels a little bit less like I'm going to vomit, so that's good.
That is good.
Okay, so I read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe for the first time on this stream. I think that was last week, right?
Last week, yes.
And I says to myself, I understand why this man was one of the greatest poets of all time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slob on his knob a little bit. So I wrote this. Now, I'm going to perform this, and this is The Human by Zachary Alexander Peeber, a tribute and reply to Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And I want to say, this isn't done. I'm going to add to this before I publish it in physical form. This is what I have so far. Once upon a midnight dreary, as I soared through the sky sleek with fury, piercing storm clouds in the black abyss, I felt a beckon like none before. So I descended to the lower sky, so my obsidian eyes could gaze onto the plains of man and observe into windows and open doors. And I happened across a sight which caught my eye like no other sight before. A husk of a man sleeping, conscious creeping from his mind into the ethereal plains of yore, and my curiosity struck me as it had not before. So thus I landed, perching upon his windowsill, and watched his lifeless eyes gaze into a fire set into the hearth on the wall opposite his chamber door. He seemed so lonely and without companion or purpose. So in a moment of profound contemplation, I thought, perhaps I could bring him comfort, the likes of which he had not before. So I pecked upon the window pane as if I was to feast on a beast lay slain. I pecked on the glass, but the man still sat, perched in his seat, in malignant comfort, ignoring my calls for him to answer. So I pecked, until finally the husk of a man stood and went to his chamber door. He stared into the opening in great confusion, apparently confused like never before. Surely he needs a wise companion like me, so he will be afflicted of his confusion, nevermore. And so I pecked once again, finally drawing his attention from the entrancing muse of his chamber door, and he came and opened the window where I perched, and I entered the room I was sure no raven hath before. The man spoke to me in his human tongue, which I scarcely understood, but he seemed most distressed, and it was upon him I wished to impress the untold wisdom of days of yore, the reassuring refrain of nevermore. My people have carried messages for gods from the plains of specters and odds, dashing from the immaterium to the mortal plains, like no messengers after will, or like any hath before. We, the ravens, shall be the messengers of these and other things forevermore. But the man's distress only grew as he contemplated me, and only my single bit of wisdom to offer could escape in tones he could understand or implore. nevermore. And it seemed he descended into fits, madness stirring beneath the surface of his pallid face and crazed eyes, like a berserker from the days of yore. And though he beckoned me away, still I choose to stay, imparting this wisdom like my kind has before. When one sees the raven, 'tis not the time to be craven, lest you be free from your madness nevermore. And like I said, I'm gonna work on that before I publish it finally. But that's and let me just say, man, when I read Poe's work, it's like I'm reading something that was written by someone I knew very dearly.
Yeah.
I feel his pain when I read his writing.
Mm.
So I just wanted to pay some tribute because
Yes.
I've been there too.
He was touched by the darkness, our dear fellow traveler.
Well said, Caitlin. Yes, and concept trying to write like Poe is no easy feat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alrighty, now Lauren something to me, which we're gonna go visit now. I'm going to stop. And now let me share I gotta share a different screen, do this and that and the other.
Yes, until we can get show helper monkeys.
Until we can get helper monkeys. So, like I said, Lauren, I'm gonna take your comment down. Lauren sent me this man reading. This is David Wiley. You can find him on YouTube, right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Don't eat strange confections that your friends give you, folks.
Yep.
March of the Poems, The Phoenix and the Turtle by William Shakespeare. So I haven't watched this. I have no idea. But so we're just going to hit play. It's 4 minutes. We're going to give him the time. Let's go.
All right.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Poetry Thursday.
You can hear that, Kate?
Day on book where all of you make poetry and read it and share it, and we watch it all. And by using we, I mean a select few of us. There's a couple that keep the Poetry Thursday alive. And I'm continuing my March of the Poems, where I'm reading a poem each and every day. The only day I missed was March 1st, and that's only because I hadn't thought of it until March 2nd. But I did read 2 poets and 2 poems on March 2nd to make up for the fact. And today we continue with a poet who needs no introduction, William Shakespeare. Going through each of the poets in the best poems of the English language, compiled by Harold Bloom.
Just as a personal piece of advice from one YouTuber to another, sir, your delivery is a little bit stiff, a little more energy, and the way you punctuate your sentences, it almost sounds like you're sad. A little bit more energy, a little bit more cheer, my friend.
Yeah. He might be sad.
He might be sad.
He's like,
no comment.
He's like, the show must go on.
I'm reading all of what it includes about a poet, and then the next morning I read one of the poems for you, and some of them have one poem available to choose from. Others, like William Shakespeare, have quite a few, and I decided instead of going with a sonnet or an excerpt from one of his plays, I'd go with his elegy here, that it includes The Phoenix and the Turtle.
I've never heard this. This will be interesting.
Let the bird of loudest lay on the sole Arabian tree, herald sad and trumpet be, to whose sound chaste wings obey. But thou shrieking harbinger, foul precursor of the fiend, augur of the fever's end, to this troop come thou not near.
Augur of the fever's end. That I like that line. That's good.
Yeah.
From this session interdict every fowl of tyrant wing, save the eagle feathered king. Keep the obsequy so strict.
Save the eagle, feathered king.
Mhm.
I like that too. If I had to pick a king of birds, the bald eagle would certainly be in the running. It's good.
Yes, yeah, and Ben Franklin wanted to make the national bird a turkey.
Listen, man, Ben was a great guy, a wise man. His taste in animals not the best.
That defunctive music can be the death divining swan, lest the requiem lack his right. And thou treble dated crow, that thy sable gender makest, with the breath thou givest and takest, mongst our mourners shalt thou go. Here the anthem doth commence, love and constancy is dead, Phoenix and the turtle fled in a mutual flame from hence. So they loved as love in twain had the essence but in one, two distinct division none, number there in love was slain. Hearts remote, yet not asunder, distance and no space was seen twixt this turtle and his queen, but in them it were a wonder. So between them love did shine, that the turtle saw his right flaming in the phoenix's sight, either was the other's mine. Property was thus appalled, that the self was not the same. Single nature's double name neither two nor one was called. Reason, in itself confounded, saw division grow together. To themselves yet either neither, simple were so well compounded. That it cried, how true a twain seemeth this concordant one. Love hath reason, reason none, if what parts can so remain. Whereupon it made this threen to the phoenix and the dove, co-supremes and stars of love, as chorus to their tragic scene. Beauty, truth, and rarity, grace and all simplicity, here enclosed in cinders lie. Death is now the phoenix' nest, and the turtle's loyal breast to eternity doth rest. Leaving no posterity, 'twas not their infirmity, it was married chastity. Truth may seem, but cannot be, beauty brag, but 'tis not she. Truth and beauty buried he. To this urn let those repair that are either true or fair, for these dead birds sigh a prayer. Thank you for watching. I hope to see your Poetry Thursday video, and you can check out a playlist that I'm putting together with all of my March of the Poems. I'll have that link down below, and I hope you have a great Poetry Thursday.
Yay! Isn't he just the sweetest cinnamon roll? I don't mean that facetiously. Okay.
And I think I'm going to take him up on his call to action and join him in Poetry Thursdays over on my channel. I got a whole fucking book of shit over there I can read.
Yeah.
Caitlin. So,
yes. And I have a whole stuff of things in the archive.
okay. So,
Yeah.
it's about the death of ideal love.
Of ideal love. Yes. Oh man, you know what? This to sum up.
Yeah, he seems like a chill dude for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
To sum up this entire poem by Shakespeare, you could say love is a turtle.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, because when we were talking about how love is eternal, and I thought that you said love is a turtle, and that turned into a whole thing. That saying could actually apply to this poem.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Something I want to say about Shakespeare's poetry. Something that I don't like about Shakespeare's poetry that I started forming this opinion in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't articulate it in high school because I wasn't quite as clever and I hadn't fully fleshed out the opinion at that point.
Yeah.
But now I'm here and I gotta say, what I don't like about Shakespeare's poetry is you have to take it seriously for it to be good. You know what I mean, Caitlin?
Mm-hmm.
You have to take it seriously for it to be good. It's not like Poe or Robert Frost, where it's
Mhm.
like, this is good no matter what. You can't fucking shit on this. It's good.
Yeah.
With Shakespeare, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. You have to take him seriously. You have to go along for the ride. You have to suspend your disbelief. And it's like, bro, if I have to perform this poem all Shakespearean
Yeah.
thespian-like for it to land the way you want it to land, maybe you should have wrote it a little bit less retarded. Taking down the douchebaggery, dial back the undertone of I'm greater than you, my prose are so immaculate. It's like, bro, listen, I get it. You invented like many thousands of words. Can you pull your own dick out of your own ass for 5 seconds and acknowledge the fact that maybe your flow is only so and you should work on it? My opinion, folks.
Well, I mean, Tolkien did also say that he personally found Shakespeare to be generic and disappointing. So, I mean,
Hey, I don't rely on other men's opinion to
yeah,
formulate.
I know, but I'm saying you're not the only one in the community.
I appreciate that, Caitlin, but I'm not going to cite Tolkien. I can mount an attack on Shakespeare
Yeah,
all I can.
I know, and so, also, if I'm not mistaken, Ben Bova also had a very similar.
See, I don't even know who that is because
No,
I'm a
yeah.
Tolkien fan.
Well, he was the father of speculative science fiction.
Ah, okay. There's another great name in that category. I want to say it's Wagner. He's basically the first guy to write space travel.
Yeah.
As we was that Wagner? Or was that Ben Bova?
No, it was Wagner.
Okay. See, folks, my dad taught me something. Yeah, my dad loved Wagner. Anyways, all right, folks.
Because Wagner's older than Bova.
Thank you. Father respected bow to Wagner, bitch. Anyway, and realistically, let's give credit where credit is due. Bow to Shelley, bitch, because she
That's
was,
right.
as far as I'm fucking concerned.
Right, that's right.
For its time, that was
very Shelley.
the concept of scientifically reanimating. It's like, no, this isn't witchcraft bullshit. This is science.
Exactly.
I'm literally inventing science fiction right now.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah, she was the mother of science fiction. And what I hate more than anything, that her reward for being the mother of science fiction and writing one of the most iconic novels was
Of
to
all
be
time.
was to die alone and penniless.
Yeah. No fucking justice in the world, that's for sure. But she's getting the shine she deserves here at Team Adventurous. My God, Mary Shelley, wherever you are, thank you so much for a story that I've related to my entire life and that has inspired me in many ways.
Yes.
And just a solid fucking piece of romance era writing.
Yeah.
Such beautiful. I mean, I don't like romance era writing. I love Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that we're thoroughly off the road here, this has been Rebel Poet Society. You fucking loved it. I'll see you next week, bitch.